Hey everybody, it's Kelly Cooper and welcome to another Facebook Live video. Today I want to talk about the worse you feel, the greater the opportunity. Suffering is not necessary for our growth. We want to be careful of not buying too heavily into that idea because then we'll kind of tend to manifest more suffering, especially anytime we need to grow. But it can't be denied that where we're in the midst of suffering, what we're going through in the process of our suffering, there is amazing opportunity for growth and transformation there. And the reason that is because, as all of you humans know, your mind is all about pain minimization. It wants to do everything in your life to have not heal your pain or get rid of it so much as just find a way to have it be undisturbed, create your outside circumstances in such a way that it doesn't get triggered, it doesn't get rustled up, it goes back dormant when you're feeling it, right? So with that mode, your pain minimize and love in mind, it never really wants us to really go deep into our stuff because it's like, no, I'm all about minimizing pain. You're like running towards the pain. Like, that's not how I do things, right? But when we're in really shitty circumstances, when things happen to us that trigger our pain on a deeper level, where it's so in our face that we can no longer deny it or suppress it or pretend it's not there, that's a great opportunity, right? Because we can kind of choose to still not deal with it if you want. But again, when it happens, you see the opportunity there because we're being forced into a space where we kind of have to deal with it. So that's where the value of the suffering comes in. Because again, we probably wouldn't voluntarily go to these places. We might not realize the depth of some of our pain until it gets triggered. So when we're in these circumstances, as shitty as they feel from an energetic perspective, the opportunity is like golden, right? Because you'll be forced to dealing with stuff that you probably not would have dealt with voluntarily on your own. You wouldn't go to those places. You wouldn't really try to dredge it up, right? So if you're feeling shitty right now, especially again from an energetic perspective, you are in a really good position to change your energy in ways that you probably wouldn't really have an opportunity to change them had these things not happened to you. At some point you could have, but again, our pain minimized and love in mind, it does everything it can to keep you from going to those places. So when you're forced into those spaces, when these floodgates open, because circumstances just bring you there and you can't fight it anymore, it just comes up. Whether it's a severe financial issue that kind of came out of nowhere, you're running out of money, you're scared, oh my God, you're panicking, you're going to end up homeless, but someone close to you is maybe very sick and may die, or that someone close to you died, you're dealing with grief, a very devastating breakup, whatever, some situation that's very, very hard, maybe multiple things at once happening that are just like, oh my God, what's going on in my life? It's an amazing opportunity because from an energetic perspective, all of that energy is probably dominating your experience in lots of ways, and you might realize this or you might not realize it. Either way, that's what's happening. And the purging and the clearing you can do, the vibration that you can achieve by dealing with that stuff, again, amazing. But in order to really benefit from this perspective, you have to embrace this perspective, right? You can't fight it because the ego mind, pretty much any spiritual wisdom, personal growth wisdom, almost 99% of the time your mind's going to have some kind of issue with it. It's going to offend or irritate the ego mind, the ego perspective in some way. And because we're very used to listening to our mind and we're very used to our pain and our discomfort and all our shitty beliefs and all our shitty ways of looking at things, we'll tend to listen to it. And the ego mind level of you will be like, how dare she suggest, or well, I hate when people say that, that's so fucking annoying. Yeah, is it annoying to the ego level mind when you're feeling shitty, someone telling you, oh, this beautiful gift of your pain? Yeah, it's fucking annoying. But you have to understand that all of these perspectives that can improve your life in these dramatic ways, these ways of looking at things that can make you feel better and make you feel peace now, no matter what's happening outside of you, which that's a good thing. You think we'd want to embrace them. But again, the ego mind's like, fuck off. No, no, thank you. It doesn't make these things any less true. You can see how a situation is serving you right now, a very painful circumstance. It doesn't mean trying to think, oh my God, I'm so happy that my mom is dying, or I'm so happy that my husband left me for my fucking best friend. I'm so happy about this. I'm so happy that I'm broke and I don't know where I'm going to eat next week. No, or you're not being asked to feel happy and like, oh my God, thank you, God, for bringing me this circumstance. But you can see understanding how energy works and the lessons present and how the opportunity for growth, you can acknowledge how it's serving you. Again, that doesn't mean having to like it, because when your mind hears about seeing how things serve you, it's hearing, be happy this happened, oh my God, be grateful for this wonderful opportunity for growth. Yeah, you can kind of feel that way, but you don't have to feel happy about it and like, oh, I'm so grateful for this financial struggle, I'm so grateful for my mom's stage 4 cancer, or whatever it is, right? No, but you can see from an energetic perspective, you can acknowledge how these situations serve you. And if you're someone that's interested in changing your energy and living your best life and healing your emotional pain and being a happier person, you see the value here. You kind of see what I'm talking about. But again, you have to be willing to embrace this perspective and not just operate from the ego level mind, that surface level of thought, right? Because that part of you is always going to have issue with these sorts of perspectives, and it's going to want to pull you away from them and want to keep you in the space of, oh my God, this sucks. I feel this is not fair. It's this, it's that. I get to feel terrible, and I'll feel better when things change, and I get to feel bad about this, and all my feelings are justified. All my shitty beliefs are justified. Because I've said this before, you have to be very careful of a particularly weird corner of your mind that thinks that if your negative feelings are justified, that somehow that will not have an impact on your energy. Like you'll get some sort of pass from the universe or something. It's like, yeah, normally people have to feel better in order for me to kind of co-create with them and kind of get them this stuff that they want. But yeah, I totally see why you feel bad about this. That's a shitty hand you were dealt. So you don't have to worry about changing your energy. You can still keep all your shit and I can work around it. The process of attraction, it's very neutral. No one's analyzing you or judging. None of that's happening, right? So we see that no matter what's happening, no matter how justified our feelings are on a human level, no matter how understandable it is for us to feel the way we feel, the impact on our energy is going to be what it's going to be. There's no mitigating of that. There's no workaround for that. So yeah, the worse you feel right now, the more shit that's going on in your life, and again, the worse you are feeling emotionally, and all the shit that's coming up that might feel overwhelming at times, I've been there, I understand that, you are being presented with an amazing opportunity to change your energy and heal in ways that I don't want to say are not possible without these things happening. But again, like I said, for most of us humans, we're going to have to be pushed into that space against our will. We're not going to go to these places voluntarily. You can. I've done it before, but just like anybody, right? You just kind of resist it. But when you're forced into these emotional spaces because things happen that create such a strong level of emotion that you can no longer suppress or deny it or pretend it's not there and just try to carry on with life as normal and just keep kind of pushing it down when it's really on the surface and in your face, you don't have to fully deal with it. You can just suffer with all that intense emotion and fight it and feel bad for yourself. You can still do that too. But if you're someone that's growth oriented, you probably don't really want to do that, even if a part of your mind is like, yeah, all these new perspectives, all this fuzzy, fuck that. I don't want to think that way. You can do that. I wouldn't recommend doing it, especially if you're interested in conscious creation. Again, your energy is what your energy is, and it's going to affect your reality in a neutral way. You're not rewarded for your positivity and your positive energy, and you're not punished for your negativity and your negative manifestations. The universe can't give you what you want just because you want it. It can't throw you a bone because it sees how hard you're trying or because you say your affirmations every day. If your energy is not a match to these experiences you want to see in your life, they can't show up. Again, it's just a neutral, disinterested, dispassionate process. The universe is an amazing partner to co-create with, but we have to hold up our end of the bargain energetically by cultivating an energy that's in flow with what we're trying to receive that lends itself to it, right? And another thing too with this golden opportunity is what you don't have is really not your problem. It's all of this emotional shit. So when you're in situations where it's really being riled up to the point where you really can't ignore it and you kind of have to feel it because it's right there and you see it's there now and you can't pretend it's not there anymore. We're very good at denying our feelings, right? And as long as we don't verbalize something, we have that plausible deniability that this thing is not a problem or I don't feel this way or whatever, right? Our mind is very crafty at doing this. You see, you're being presented with an opportunity to get what you really want on the deepest level in a really big dramatic way to feel better. Because all of this shit that's coming up, it's probably been there a long time. So at some points, you might realize how strong it is. At other times, it might have been very suppressed and you were able to function without really feeling it at its full force, but you kind of always knew it was there. And it was kind of casting this dark cloud over your life and kind of casting this dark cloud over everything. And on the surface, your life might have been going great, but you still never felt quite happy. It's that deep energy. Something's going on there that wasn't being addressed. Again, kind of casting that cloud over everything. So no matter how great your life seemed on paper or all these things that you should feel so happy about, how many times do we hear this story from people? The people that have it all, they're miserable, right? Because it's never really the outside, right? It's the inside. If the inside is off, then we're not going to feel happy no matter what the outside looks like, no matter what we manifest. You know, if you're really upset right now about your weight, for example, you could wake up a size 0 tomorrow, and short of some temporary period of like loving your new body, you'll go back to feeling just as bad about yourself as you did when you were a size 20. You know what I'm saying? So that's another great thing about this. Yeah, there's always this part of us. Our ulterior motive is, I just want to get my stuff. That just is what it is. We're people. We can't help it. That's just kind of how our mind operates. And that part of us is going to exist as long as we're in this body. But the real opportunity, yeah, it'll help you get your stuff, because you'll change your energy in ways that you'll be able to attract a very different reality, because the inner transformation, when we're in these situations, when we really deal with the feeling and we really have an intention to heal and purge, the energetic changes within are dramatic, and you'll see that reflected in your life in various ways. When, how, what it will look like, all of that, who knows, but just know it will happen. But again, what you're really after which is to feel better on that deeper level consistently. That you have no choice but to have that happen, because all of this energy there, that's what's keeping you from feeling that way. So you're being able to deal with it. Because again, you have a mind, the worse your circumstances are, the more it wants you to dig in with your shitty feelings and buying into your shitty beliefs and all of these things, and huffing and puffing and hating the world. But again, the more that's happening, the greater the opportunity to get where you want to be, both externally with seeing these changes in your life, and internally, which is that's what truly matters to you. Even if your mind doesn't get it, is to feel better inside. So if you're having situations right now, know that from an energetic perspective, the more shit you're dealing with right now, the greater the opportunity being presented to you to really make really big changes in your life. Again, both externally and what your outer experience looks like, because the energetic changes that are possible when you really deal with this deeper level shit, your energy changes significantly. All of these weights that have been weighing down your vibe, all of this energy that's been drowning out all of your positive vibration activation that you're doing with your affirmations and your journaling and this thing and that thing, you'll create a much more hospitable environment for all of this new energy you're trying to consciously cultivate. You'll get what you want right away, which is to feel better now, because it's all that shit that makes you feel bad, not what you don't have on the outside. And yeah, like I said, that really deep work, that deep purging, technically we can go there on our own, but most of us won't. It needs to be triggered. We need to kind of be forced into a corner with it, backed into a corner where we're left with no choice. Again, we don't have to suffer to grow. I've always been trying to be, especially in recent years, being very cognizant of not buying into that too much. There's huge value in suffering. Again, most of us with our conditioning and how we deny our feelings and all of that, we're going to experience suffering at various points in our life probably. Stuff's going to happen that our mind's not going to like, that are going to feel very painful to human us. And when we're in those moments, supremely useful, supreme opportunities there for growth and healing and transformation. But do we have to experience these things to grow? No, of course not. But when we find ourselves in these situations, again, if we're there, we might as well make the best of it. That's kind of the way you want to look at it. It's like, okay, I'm in this position right now. I am feeling all of this. I have two choices here. I can use this situation to benefit me somehow, and knowing, even though my mind doesn't get it, me dealing with all of this stuff is actually going to help me get where I want to be in my external reality, even though, again, my mind is like all about pain minimization and it doesn't give a shit. I understand it doesn't get any of this, so I'm not going to listen to it and I'm going to deal with this. Or you can keep feeling the pain at the intense degree and decide you're not really going to do anything about it, and just decide, well, when something changes, I'll give myself permission to feel better, or I'll just go into like pity mode, feel sorry for whatever, right? And if you have those moments, it's okay. Sometimes that's part of the process. We need to get the pity party and all of that out of our system, and then start working with the energy in ways that are actually going to benefit us. But all of that human element, those human reactions, you can have them and it's okay. You're a person, but just make sure you're not lingering in them, because then, again, you can't benefit from all of this because your perspective, that's not the perspective you're going to be holding in those moments. It's going to be like, life is not fair. This sucks and I get to feel this way, and life is shitty and I get to feel better when something changes. But understanding what we understand about energy, it's hard to see significant external change if our energy is not changing, right? So yeah, the worse things are for you right now, the worse you're feeling right now, the greater the opportunity from a law of attraction, conscious creation, energy perspective. And if you're watching this video, you're obviously interested in that topic, because that's kind of what I focus on, right? So think about it. You'll have this choice. You're in these situations. Can you use them to your advantage, benefit from them somehow, knowing the opportunity you're being presented from an energetic level, what you're being invited to do, what you're having the opportunity to do on an energetic transformation level? Or keep listening to your mind that wants to tell you everything sucks, this situation really sucks, you get to feel really, really, all these horrible, terrible feelings you're having, they're very justified, and you get to keep feeling that way. And you don't have to change how you feel, maybe ever, or when something happens that I like, I'll let you feel better. See, all of these terrible things happening, that's proof of all your shitty beliefs. See, I'm right about how my belief system. And you'll be like, yeah, you know what, mind, you're right, right? And you just kind of get stuck in the energy and you don't do anything with it. So yeah, the worse you feel right now, the greater the opportunity for inner transformation. And the more you transform on an inner level, the happier you're going to be, because all that shit is festering there is why you're unhappy now. And from an energetic law of attraction, your external reality, your reality has no choice but to change in significant ways, because all of this energy that was keeping you stuck in where you are now, that was being fed, it's gone. It's not there anymore. It's not dominant anymore. And if that energy is not dominating your vibe anymore, it can't dominate your reality anymore, right? This is LOA 101. So all these external changes that you want in your life, they have no choice but to come in some shape or form. When, how, what's it going to look like, the time, all of that stuff, that's anybody's guess. So you have to be open to that. But know that if your energy is changing in these significant ways, your reality has no choice but to change in proportion to that. So even if inner healing and feeling better, even though if that should be your primary goal, for a lot of us, if we're honest, it's not going to be. You want your fucking stuff. It's fine. But know that this will get you your precious stuff too. So to reject doing this doesn't make any sense, right? Because this is the most direct shot to your stuff, is dealing with this deeper seated emotion. So if you're feeling shitty right now, go all in with it. If you're feeling super shitty and things are really falling apart, amazing opportunity here, but you have to be willing to see it that way. You can't benefit from all these perspectives if you're not willing to make them your own, and make a willingness to make them your own, at least a majority of the time, right? So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day or night. For more content, head on over to livelifemade-to-order.com. You'll also find products that I have on offer, as well as information about my coaching services. Bye-bye.